Hi everybody, I'm home. Welcome back to my channel. I have a long random video for you today, but it's going to be a lot of fun, so thanks for joining me and let's visit. I want to thank you guys for all your comments about my rolling pins being put into the wine rack that I found at the thrift store, and I had put some cutting cloths in it, and you guys said that you had the idea to get out your cloths and do the same thing and maybe put yours in one, and some of you said you've already done that. So yeah, like I said, I saw it in a magazine or something, so that was kind of fun. And remember the little chalky rabbit that I got at the thrift store a couple of weeks ago? Well, he was so chalky and cheap looking, I ended up taking him and painting him. I painted him in about 15 minutes. I painted the eggs a different color. Well, I think I painted him the same color, just a little brighter. And I painted the grass underneath, and his little basket I painted a kind of a rust color. And when I got him done, he looked like chocolate, but he looked like chocolate even more after I put a sealer over him. And I'm not kidding, he looks like you could just bite his little head off. He's so cute. And this is something you can do with any rabbit that you get. You can even spray paint him. Now, I didn't spray paint that. So my husband and I were taking a drive to our son's the other day, and we've had storms all over Indiana, and it's been really bad, so it was gloomy. And we're driving along, and we get to talking about how we need to downsize and move and get rid of Marcy's junk. And I got to talking about how from now on, when I thrift, I'm going to try not to thrift, but I had to donate some stuff, a lot of stuff. I had stuff in my trunk this day. So I said, let's donate this stuff. And I promise I'm not going to buy anything else thrifting unless it's just the most incredible thing and it's so incredibly cheap that I can't pass it up. Otherwise, I'm going to put a bunch of stuff back and I'm not going to buy. And he said, yeah, he's my enabler. Okay. He's the kind that says, oh, you better get that or you're going to be sorry later, or I wish you'd get that. So it's going to be tough, but I'm going to do it. So I'm in the thrift store. I went to the Goodwill to donate all my stuff, and I saw that I had to look, I saw this big snowman platter, and it was so beautiful. And I looked it up, and they're pretty pricey, but I put it back. I just wanted to show you guys how pretty it was, by Susan Wingett, I believe is her name. And I looked them up, and they're pretty pricey. So these are some things that I did not purchase. I put a bunch of stuff in my cart, and I went around and I put it all back. And I was so proud of myself. Now, I did buy a couple things, but I went to 3 different Goodwills. And normally I would get 5 or 6 things at each Goodwill, but I didn't do it. I put all the stuff in my cart and then put it all back. This was a beautiful tablecloth. I have so many tablecloths. This was a beautiful box. But what I'm trying to tell you is we're going to downsize, and we're going to have a big moving sale. I'm going to donate, I'm going to throw away, I'm going to give away, and I'm going to get down to just the most beautiful things that, that I need in my life and in my new home, wherever we end up going. So I've got a long journey ahead of me doing all this, but I'm going to do it. I'm going to stick to it. Now, this was something, it was 99 cents, a little toothpick holder. I would have definitely picked up because it had roses on it and it was 99 cents. But as you can see in the video coming up, I have a way of figuring this stuff out in my head. Like, I look at something like this and think, oh, springtime, I'll put this out on the coffee table with candy in it or a candle, or I'll eat off of it. And I justify everything in my head by making up a little scenario in my mind. Like this thing. It was beautiful. It was a beautiful canister. It was from Pier 1, I believe. It was really nice and it was cheap. Normally, I would have just thrown that in my cart and not thought a thing of it. But I reined myself in, and I'm going to have to start doing that, guys, because I don't want to be a hoarder. And I've had a couple of friends pass away recently that were around my age, and it's time to start thinking about this, so I've got to do it. But I went through some stuff the other day, and I took a big box to the Goodwill, and now this copper thing right here, they have these at TJ Maxx right now for $14.99 or $16.99, so $4.99 was a good price on that. But I didn't get it. So here's how I justify things. Remember these plates that I got for my son's future home with the wine glasses, everything matched. It was all hotel collection plates that were 99 cents a piece. It was an incredible bargain, and it was beautiful. My sons probably will veto it, but it'll be nice in their house someday. So I think ahead. If I find something incredibly cheap for a good quality, I think ahead. So I'm in the store the other day and I find some more hotel collection plates, the big gray plates. And I didn't buy them, of course. I already bought those for my sons. But then I found these that were salad plates that go with them, just like that other set that I bought for my sons. And they were 99 cents a piece as well. So I'm trying to show you that in my mind, I'm thinking, oh, these would be nice for one of my sons' homes. And then they had the darker plates that also went with them. Sometimes after you get this stuff in your mind, you find it in the stores. And I want you guys to be finding what you need, because you can. Now see how pretty these pair together, just like the ones I got for my sons. So I put them together in the store to show you guys how my mind thinks. Like my cake stands, I think, oh, in my mind I have this imaginary little bakery someday, and I'll have a shelf all the way around the top of the room with my cake stands. Isn't that going to be cute? That's how I think. So I think, oh, I got to have this cake stand for my imaginary future bakery. That'll never happen. I've had a bakery in the past in my home, and I'll tell you about that sometime. But I was seeing all these things and thinking, oh, that would be pretty on the coffee table with some candles, or floating flowers, or candy, or anything. And that's how I end up with all this stuff. So I like thrifting so much, I'm not going to stop doing it, but I'm just telling you that things are going to change. Marcy's got to reel it in a little bit. This little crock was cute, but it had like sparkles on it. And I don't know how that iridescent colored paint got on there, but it was really cute, and it was only 99 cents. And then they had a lot of nice sets of china at this Goodwill. And they had this one set that I really loved, this set, and another set that were so dainty and delicate. And one set said $10.99 on one plate. So I asked this kid, is this all $10.99 as a set or what? And he goes, I don't know. And they never got back to me and wouldn't tell me if that was it. But if it had been $10.99 for this whole set, it would have been a really good deal. But I wasn't going to buy it. But a few years ago, I saw a bowl in a Victoria magazine that was dainty little flowers like this, and it had a real delicate, intricate edge around it with gold, and it was so beautiful. And you know me, I manifested it by touching it every time I looked at that magazine. And it really looked like this pattern. It had little pink flowers, and I kept looking in the stores, and I never did see one. And the other day, I got ready to donate some of those magazines, and as I was flipping through them, I saw that bowl again, and I thought, there's that bowl. I wonder if I'm ever going to find that. So I touched it again, and I took the magazines to the library and said goodbye to them, because I have so many. I had to unload some. So I'm in Goodwill the other day, and I'm walking down the aisle, and I see this little bowl, and I just looked at it and thought, is that the bowl? I don't think it's the exact same one, but as in many of my manifested things, I think mine's a little bit prettier than the one I saw in the Victoria magazine. These are more plates. These were like real dainty little china sets that they had for $10.99 a set. And normally, if I wasn't in this downsizing mode, I would have bought all of them. But you guys know how much I need dishes. But here's the bowl. It was sitting on a shelf at Goodwill, and I looked at that thing and said, that's the Victoria magazine bowl that I've been touching for 5 years or more. And I ran my finger around the edge, and there wasn't any chips, cracks, scratches, nothing. I don't think this little bowl's ever been used, but it's very old. I would say these little flowers are probably primroses. It is so beautiful. And I picked it up and held it in my hands and said, thank you, Lord. I manifested this many times, and here I have it in my hand. And I turned it over, and it was just as pretty on the backside. It was beautiful. And it was 99 cents. And guys, I had to get it. This was one of those things I told my husband, if I find something that's just perfect and it's really cheap, I'm going to go ahead and get it. So I got it. Now, do I need it? No. Is it beautiful? Yes. Am I saving it? Yes. But I got it. And I put so many things back that day, I didn't feel bad about getting it. I didn't get all those $10.99 china sets. I got this bowl. And I brought it home, and I tucked it up there on my china cabinet on one of my ironstone platters that kind of has the same little design around it, just a little different. And I will use that little bowl. I'm already thinking about Easter and how pretty a little fruit salad or something would be in it. But I think it's happy. I think it's happy in my home. And you know what? Here's another way I justify this stuff. You can't buy something like this in the Dollar Tree. You'd pay $1.25 for a plastic bowl or a glass bowl or metal bowl, and it wouldn't be quality. Or the Dollar General, Walmart, you're not going to get a bowl like this for 99 cents. So that's another justification. But I love it. And I'm going to try to go up to the library and get that magazine back and see if I can find it. I did buy this little cabinet. I buy these because this one's one you hang on the wall and it has like a paper towel holder on it, which I'm going to cut off, and I'm going to cut the bottom off so it sits flat like a little cabinet. But, with my miniatures, I need little cabinets. I am going to keep most of my miniatures. So I've been painting it. I haven't put the final coat on yet and the stain, but it's going to be a little red cabinet. And I'm going to put some of my little dishes in it. I have little tiny cups. I have all my little plates. This is a butter pat. And then, of course, I have all my little plates that I made that look like plates, and they're just made out of cardstock, my little Flow Blue plates. And me with my miniatures, I've got plenty of things to put in this, and I can hang it on the wall or set it back somewhere, and it won't take up much room. So that's the little cabinet I did buy, but it was $1.99 or $2.99, and I felt like it was worth it. And then I have all my little miniature books that are about 1.5 inches tall that I could stack my little books on it. Anyway, that cabinet will come in very handy with all my stuff. And I did buy this. Here, I just told you I wasn't buying anything. It was a cranberry glass, hand-blown little goblet. And I love it. And I'll use it just for my orange juice in the morning. And it was a random one all by itself for 99 cents. So, yes, I bought it. I'm kind of redundant sometimes, but then I was in the free bin, and they had this one random placemat. But look at the orange roses and the fruit in the deep colors that I love. So I got this and I washed it and I put it on my table in the center of the table, and I got to noticing that when I flipped it over, it had a real pretty green ribbon around the edge, and it's a really good quality. And I'm real happy with it. It was free. I can get free stuff, right? And I donated a bunch of stuff, so I don't feel bad about that. And so I put it in the middle of my table, and it looked real pretty. When I don't use a tablecloth, I like to have something underneath my salt and peppers and my lamp and everything. But after I got everything on it, I thought it looked a little cluttered, so I'll probably just use it in another part of my kitchen or use it for a dish towel or a cutting mat. I'm not real sure, but I just love the colors, and you know how I love the oranges and the rusts and the olive greens and the fruit. I love that kind of thing. And like I said, I don't think it's going to stay on my table, but it's a really good quality piece, and it was free. So that reminded me of my bedroom. I've been thinking about changing my bedroom back into spring and summer colors. And even though it's going to be spring and summer, my fall stuff still kind of fits in because that's what I like. So this is what my bed looks like now with all those colors, the same colors that were in that little placemat that I just showed you. And even though all the fabrics don't match, they kind of match. You know what I'm saying? So I ended up putting the red curtains that were in my living room in my bedroom. And even though they're not the same color as my bedclothes, they match pretty good because they're far enough away and they're in the same kind of muted tones and the same kind of floral patterns. And I'm just in love with this pillow that I recovered with a napkin that I found, I think, in the free bin. It wasn't much. And then this is the table that's next to my bed. And I took it had a Christmas book sitting there. And I took all that stuff away and cleaned. And I decided that I would inject a little bit of springtime. This little tarnished tray I keep right next to my bed, and it has a picture of my husband and my little boys, who are now 24 years old, but they're my life, so they have to be real near me. And then I always have a little plate with my rings and change. And then this is a little cake stand. I have to use my cake stands in different places, guys, because I've got so many. So I just have a picture of our family. We have an updated picture, but I love that one so much. It's in a frame that I call my birthstone frame because my birthstone's peridot, and this frame has those colors in it. And then I have a little box in the corner that has little trinkets in it that I have to have on my dresser. And these flowers are from winter. I'd gotten them on clearance, and they're just winter, and they have a little sprig of greenery in them. So I decided to leave those in there for now and add some artificial roses of some color until I can get to the store and get some real roses, and I'll put those next to the bed and change them out. And they're in a big tall vase that I just noticed has a little remnant of a candle in the bottom of it. It's a vase that I'd put a candle in apparently. But I just like for my house to be decorated, and I like to have pretty sitting around, and it's not hard, guys. You can go and get this stuff at the thrift stores. And now these are artificial flowers. I'd much rather have real, and I will have soon, but I just want some color, and I wanted to spruce it up a little bit for spring. And of course, this little postcard kind of says it all about my style. I like the orange roses, and I kind of tuck that little postcard everywhere through my house. It was one of my Aunt Grace's postcards, and it gets dusty, and I just wipe it off and set it somewhere else. I just love to look at it. And then behind my husband's picture on that tray, I keep a little wax melt, and this one is called Spring Clean. And you can pick this up at Walmart, and it literally makes your room smell spring cleaned. I love it. And before I had the spring clean one, I had a little green wax melt that was a pine scent, like a Christmas tree scent. And I have to admit, I kind of like the pine scent better than the spring clean, even though it's great. I like that cozy feeling of the Christmas tree smell in my room. And it was called Vanilla Pine, and I also got it at Walmart. And I burn those in my wax melts, but usually I try to keep one behind that picture so that I can smell it from my side of the bed. I don't think he can smell it, but it makes my side of the room smell really pretty. And then I just tucked a few roses here and there. They're just silk roses, but to inject a little color for spring. And it just makes me feel better when I go in there. This is a table I bought at No, I didn't buy it at a yard sale. I got it from a woman. I saw it on Facebook Marketplace. It was like $20, and it was an oak drop leaf table. And she said, I think she wanted 25, and when I went to pick it up, she said, you can have it for 20, and there's nothing wrong with it, and I just love it. Now, I do not pass up little berry bowls and little round plates at the thrift stores because I like to have them on my dresser for coasters, and I use them for my rings and my change. And these little berry bowls, I actually have 4 of each one, so I just change them out every now and then. And then little plates, I have 4 of these plates. I think I did break one of these, but I have one in the bathroom to keep my rings on, and I just change them out. They're just pretty, and they're unique. This one's hand painted actually, and I just love the colors in it. And so I don't pass those up when I'm out thrifting. And then I always buy, if I find nice crystal or glass coasters, they're usually 50 cents or a quarter, sometimes 99 cents for 4 of them. And I like to buy those, and I have them sitting all over the house because I'm always drinking something. And then if I am sitting there in the morning getting ready, I can lift the leaf up on that table and drop it back down when I'm done, and it gives me a nice space to get ready in the morning. And so I just thought I'd show you guys how I do my bedroom and change it out. And I will be getting some different flowers. And of course, my Victoria magazine is laying there patiently waiting for me to fawn over things in the pages and manifest and touch pictures and manifest and things that I want. Don't forget to do that. And guys, I don't want you to miss my next video because we got some manifesting in that video. So yeah, stuff. I've got to get rid of a lot of stuff, guys. I can't take this all to a smaller home. And I have so far not been able to manifest a mansion yet. So until I can manifest a mansion, I'm going down. We're getting a smaller house. So I have piles of ironstone. I have piles of glass and pressed glass and crystal, and all of it thrifted. Some of it my family's, which I'll keep all those pieces. And my cake stands, you know how they're everywhere. So the other day, my son and I went to Walmart to get some water, and we walked through the store and just took our time because we wanted to get our steps in because it was so rainy and cold outside, and we didn't want to go outside and walk. So I love to walk around with my son. We have such a good time. And he said, "There you go, Mom." And I looked over, and there's Dolly's stuff. I'm such a fan of Dolly, and it made me sad because I know she lost her husband last week, and she's been on my mind a lot. But we were looking at her stuff, and I thought these were so cute. Little guitar-shaped syrups. We don't buy syrup, or I would have bought one of those. I thought they were just adorable. She comes up with the greatest ideas. I just love her. She's so great. And then as we walked around and looked at all this stuff, I said, Matt, this is where your mom gets in trouble. I see all this pretty stuff and I bake. And I have all the cookie cutters I need and spatulas and bowls and all this rolling pans, everything. But look at these little sprinkles. Wouldn't those look cute in my little candy shop in those little jars that I made? But I get caught up in this stuff. I look at all this and think I have to have it, but I didn't buy any of it. We just looked it over real good as we were walking around getting our steps. But that's another thing. If I'm going to downsize, I got to quit impulse shopping. It's very easy to do when you're in the stores and you see neat new stuff. I thought this little bird cookie cutter, they were on a placard with a spatula. And then this one was real cute. But I have a couple spatulas that have Christmas designs on them, and I feel like I need to put them in a drawer and not use them anytime except for around Christmas time. So this stuff's pretty pointless, but it was awfully pretty, and I enjoyed looking at all of it, and it did make me think, oh, well, if I bake an Easter cake or if I make Easter cookies, and sometimes I do that and sometimes I don't. So I had to hold back and not buy any of this, but it sure was fun to look at. And my son, he was just laughing at me, but it touched me that he pointed Dolly's stuff out towards me because he knows how much I like her. And sometimes he'll call me and he'll say, hey, Mom, I was in the store the other day and I saw they have Dolly Parton birthday cake stuff, like birthday party stuff, tablecloths, and they have cups and party hats and things like that, and they pointed all out to me. But they had everything decorated up for Easter in Walmart the other day, and their prices are always pretty good in Walmart compared to like TJ Maxx in Burlington. And I thought all this stuff was really pretty. Now I bet I have 5 deviled egg trays that are glass. I gave one to my niece not too long ago, and I gave my sister-in-law one, but I have plenty, and they had such pretty candles. But you have to be careful when you go in the stores and not get caught up in all of it. And plus, I like to thrift, so going to have to put the brakes on all that stuff. But they had such pretty flowers, and I checked out the flowers, and I am going to get some for my tables. And I don't want you guys to miss the next video. I'm working on it today. It is something I found at the thrift store, and I broke my rule about stuff, but it's something great at a good price, so I guess I didn't break my rule, but you'll like it, and I'm going to maybe post it tomorrow if I have time. But I want to thank you guys, and please share this video if you're interested in it and you think some of your friends might be interested in it. I want you to please like and subscribe, and remember to watch the next video. And I love you guys from the bottom of my heart, and I can't wait to share what I found.